you had the new government in Syria arresting Palestinian Islamic Jihad, the group in Syria. Their leaders have been arrested. So why is the Syrian government arresting Palestinian resistance? Why? It's because they are playing ball with the United States. They want sanctions relief for their country, so they're cracking down on the Palestinian groups in the country. So this is a shocking betrayal. And am I convinced that this means that Syria is going to be like Jordan 2.0, just another vassal of the United States and Israel? No, I'm not completely convinced. I still think the jury is out on what is going to happen with Syria. What is Ahmed Shara Jolani going to really be about in the long term? But this is bad news. This is extremely bad news that he is cracking down on Palestinian groups, Palestinian military resistance groups. Why? Because that's the easiest target. And you start with the easiest target. Oh, okay, this is a militant group, so we have to arrest them. We can't allow this organization to exist, even though it's Palestinian resistance. We can't allow this organization to exist. You start with that group. But you think that the US is going to be satisfied with just arresting them? No, they're going to keep making demands for the government to crack down on other political groups, other Islamist groups. So a lot of people like me have been excited, have been thrilled that, okay, Assad, that brutal dictator, tyrant, has been deposed. Great news. That and a lot of the political prisoners have been released. That's great news. And great news that the new Syrian government is allowing Muslims to gather in masajid and have durus, have halaqat. You have a lot of the traditional scholars returning to Syria. You have a lot of them who have been released from jail and now they're preaching. You have khutbas talking about jihad in the masajid in Syria, and they're not being cracked down on. So when was the last time that you had in the Middle East, in the Arab world, a khutbah on the topic of jihad? That's happening. That's happening now in New Syria. That's great news. That's great news if that can continue to be allowed without crackdown. But the thing is that there are patterns. And there is a history that we have seen repeat itself over and over and over again. Yeah, there is some tolerance and some freedom to preach jihad, preach political Islam, preach Sharia, preach Khilafah, preach a resurgence of Islam as a political force. They allow that initially, but then they start cracking down. Then the pressure from the United States and Israel increases, and then they start cracking down. They start putting people into prisons. They start controlling the khutbahs in the masajid. They start closing down the masajid and only opening them up for prayers. The masjid is only open for prayer time, and then the doors are closed so that you can't have any halaqas, you can't have any durus, you can't have any classes. That's what happens in the majority of the Muslim world or the Arab world. But now Syria has allowed that, but then how long will that actually last? And the fact that they're arresting Palestinian resistance organizations, this is a huge red flag. This is a very bad sign.